if you don't ask for it, you won't get it.
It's so true.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much to unpack there.
But has another statement ever been truer?
You're the intention queen. So what do you come up with?
Right.
Yeah, Ms. Intention.
Yeah. Well, if you don't ask for it, you don't get it, right? I mean, it's so true. And I guess to your point about intentions, how much do we walk through life? And yeah.
You know, it's funny when I listened to this recording, and the first thing that came to mind was not about me asking someone else for something, like not asking you, asking myself for something.
Okay.
Like sort of thumbs up, permission, right? You know, giving yourself permission to make the next move.
Interesting, because what I thought was ask the universe. Like
Okay.
if you don't, which is kind of like setting an intention. If you don't ask for it, you know, I want peace of mind, you know, then
right.
you don't get it.
Right.
So it's funny that you mentioned intention, because for me, they would go hand in hand.
Yeah, I just when I listened to this one, that's the first word that came to mind. Literally, I was just right. I actually typed out intention queen. What did you come up with? Because I was like, because it's something that sort of follows your theme. So
Nice.
But seriously though, you want a better job. I want a better job. Does it make any sense for me to ask you that question, Catherine? I need to ask myself that question, right?
Right.
Or whatever it is. I want a new car, or I want to change the venue, or whatever it is. What good is it if I ask you or Jody or anybody else, unless I'm asking for another piece of pie or cake or another chicken wing? I don't get it. You have to ask you.
Yeah, a couple things come to mind. I mean, I've worked with people before who I find just keep asking other people, other authorities, for the answer to try and.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We've talked about it before. What did you call it? The book and tape club?
The book and tape.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Where you keep going outside of yourself to get more information, more more workshops or whatever. It could be more books. It could be more therapy sessions. It could be
seminars and webinars.
Right.
Yep.
But ultimately, we have to be okay with it ourselves. In other words, we have to ask ourselves, is this truly what I want?
Yes. Yeah.
So there's an element of taking responsibility, I think, in it too.
Hugely.
Right.
That's what keeps coming back for me is, look, you have to move forward at some point. If you're not doing it and you're going to the book and tape club all the time and nothing's happening, you don't want to do it for some reason.
Yeah.
So, you haven't asked for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, like, how does that relate to you? Like, what's an example that you have?
Oh, boy. It's funny. I just went through this recently in a coaching engagement. And then I was also reading the book by Gay Hendricks that you and I were chatting about,
The Big Leap.
The Big Leap. And he talks about time, right? And he talks about, and this is really connected with me. And literally, this is 72 hours old in my melon
Those
here.
are the best. Those
Yeah,
are the
so
best.
this is what's been computing around in me for a few days.
Yeah.
And his sense of time, right? And time emanates from us. But he said something that was really interesting. He said, if you continue to not want to do something, or you're not doing something, it's because you don't ultimately want to do it. And his example was, if your child comes up to you and says, hey, Dad, can we play catch? And you say, no, I'm really busy right now. And that's the end of it. Hey, Dad, if the same kid comes up to you and says, hey, Dad, I just, cut my major artry. Could you take me to the hospital right now? Yes, I have time for that, right?
Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so in essence, you do have time for it. You can make room for it.
Right.
If you're not making room for it, it's because secretly or deep down inside, you don't want to do it, and you're taking a polite route with yourself.
Right. Right.
Long way around the block for that one. But
No, I get it.
yeah.
It's interesting because I relate everything back to how I'm raising Sam in a lot of ways, and Michael, and I've started telling him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, I don't want to. Instead of I don't have time, because what I noticed is he started to come to me and say, no, Mommy, I'm really busy. I'm like, what do you mean you're really busy?
You're 5.
Like, what's on your agenda for the day,
You know
son?
your parents. What else could you be doing?
Exactly.
Right?
I know everything you're about to do. So it clicked in my mind. He's picking that up from me. So I've started saying, no, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
And he'll say, well, why? And I'll say, I just don't really want, whatever it is. I don't want to get on the floor and I don't want to play. And sometimes I'll come around. He'll be like, please. And I'll come around and say, okay, fine. I'll do that for a little bit. But it's interesting taking it to that next level of honesty.
Yes.
What's the truth about this right here? No, I don't really want to play Connect 4. I just don't. I'm allowed not to want to. As parents, in my mind, I think, oh God, he asked. Everything runs through my mind. I should. He's only going to be 5 for a certain amount of time. He's going to grow up. He's never going to want to play with me,
Right.
again. I should do it. And then it's like, but I just don't want to.
Yeah.
And the freedom that opens up, the funny thing is oftentimes I find that I end up just getting on the floor and playing with him anyway. Because just saying, no, I don't really want to, kind of frees so much up around here to say, that's really what I want, And all of a sudden
that's
it's like,
cool.
it doesn't really matter. I'll hop on the floor with you. It's cool. Even though I don't really want to. I don't have to really be into it.
Well, maybe the part of it goes back to the part about giving yourself permission to say no, giving
Yeah.
yourself permission to be authentic, and to say right now I can't and I will in an hour.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point too. I do a lot of that. I'm
Right.
cooking dinner right now. I'll be with you in 5.
Yeah. Or you know what? I've been hijacked so much. I can't. I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say so. I'm saying no to it. I'm saying yes to me. Mm-hmm. Right. So I've given myself permission to say yes to me about what it is I want to have happen right now. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like what you're saying about asking myself the question, because it's like these little white lies, I'm too busy. It's not true.
No, it's
I'm
not.
too busy. So all of a sudden, what story am I building either internally that's now translating externally? Because I've got a 5-year-old coming back to me saying he's too busy, So
Yeah.
it's like, what's the truth? Mom, will you play with me? So it's asking the question, well, will I? No, why not? And these are split second internal conversations, dialogues we have.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm looking at what he said again, if you don't ask for it, you don't get it. Mm-hmm. There's truth in that too, in its purest form.
Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. I just
Right.
heard it when you said it that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it goes back to tone, right? I guess in terms of how you actually deliver it.
Yeah.
So all the people out there who don't ask for of the person that they want it to have happen, and then turn to the other person and say, I really wish he would do X for me. Mm-hmm. I really wish she would, be this way in this moment for me. But I'm telling you, instead of telling you the person I want it to have happen.
Right.
Right. So it will never happen for you if you don't ask for it at that moment.
Right. I'm thinking of relationships because of
That's
what
a
you just
relationship
said.
gig for sure, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I want him to be more supportive. I'm telling my girlfriend, I want him to be more supportive of me. But why not say directly to that person who I want to be more supportive, I'd like your response in this situation to be more supportive of me. Asking really directly, yeah, I don't know why we forget that.
Well, and it can leap over into business too, Catherine. I mean, I think about all the coaching I do with sales and marketing folks, professionals, right? Mm-hmm. And all the times I hear the judgment come in, I really want the client to do this, or I really hope the client will do that, sign the contract, or pick me to be a finalist, or agree to my price. Mm-hmm. Well, have you asked them? What?
Yeah.
You want me to ask them?
Yeah.
I've already given them the contract. I've told them everything that's great about what I do.
Yeah.
They should just know.
Right. Do you know that I talked to a prospective client yesterday, and she said, if you were me right now, we were just sort of going over where she was in life and what
Yeah.
she, well, if you were me, what would you do? And I said, if I were you, I would hire me.
Awesome. Right?
I mean, it was true, and it was bold, and it was
And it was right.
right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? And
Right.
it's like, how often do we just hold back from that? Ooh, that's a little too this or too that, too
Yes.
salesy or too what? It was true.
Yes.
It's the best thing for her,
Well, it is salesy in its purest form.
Yeah.
You're not the white belt and white shoes crowd, with the loud jacket salesperson and
Right.
the bottle under one arm and a dirty joke in the other. It's more along the purest sense of saying, I'm trying to connect with you and wanting an answer.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think the difference too is, I kept asking, what do I want for this person? And it was, how may I serve?
Yeah.
Instead of, I'm looking to land a gig or
Right.
I'm looking for something. It was like, how can I help?
I can help
how may
you.
I serve? Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
I can serve your need right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
choose.
and play with it a little. If I were you, I'd hire me. You know,
Right.
it's like, why not? Try it.
Well, that can almost be hijacked into just about any conversation, right? And you could, what you need is more of me.
Right.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
more of yourself. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think it boils down to. And what I really like about the purity of Sam's comment is if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And holy smokes, so maybe that is all of these things. It's about you and the universe, me internal facing. It's about us in its simplest form, asking somebody else, and they can say yes or no. Be prepared that it's going to be a yes or no. Now that we know that the answer is either yes or no, why not ask the question?
Yeah. Yeah. It almost eliminates a lot of the mental garbage and the mental banter back and forth to just ask the darn question and wait for the answer, be it internally, externally, instead of when you said what you just said about just asking, it's like we kind of try and manipulate a lot of times and kind of like, corral somebody into an answer and hoping it'll be the right one and what we want, instead of just asking the question, waiting for the answer, knowing it could be any one of a number of things, yes, no, or maybe, or who knows what else.
Well, yeah, it boils down to, transactional, right? I want a yes or a no. And then what you were talking about is more of a positional, right? There's a persuasion going on.
Right.
And you never listen to somebody, especially again in the professional arena, when they ask a question and they hijack themselves and sort of, as you say, flesh out this environment around the question.
Right.
So it becomes a multiple choice exam.
Right.
So would you like to have this in blue or green? Because I ask you this because the comments in blue, green, red, or purple. And, some people like purple because it's conciliatory and all that. And, well, I have a grandmother and she really loves purple. And what do you want?
Yeah.
And you're like, what was the question? I'm stuck back at the blue or green.
And it's not trusting the other side. It's not trusting the whole process. It's not trusting the person that they know the answer and that the answer's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. I always say to my clients when they say, well, I know at some point I'm going to fail at this or there'll be a bad day. And I'll say, okay, let me help you with this right now. There will be a bad day. It's out there. It's there waiting for you. Now that we know that it's there.
What now?
What now? Right? Now that you know that there is an answer, good day or bad day.
Right.
Okay. Now what do we want to do right now?
Yeah. What I love about all of this is that there's so much simplicity in all this, which is why we chose children, why we chose this whole conversation. Everything we've talked about, I feel like we could talk about for another 30 minutes on each of the topics, of asking the question, just keeping it simple. And there was something else that's escaped me, but that happens too.
Well, they need to hire you then to find out what escaped you.
Exactly. It's in there.
So, all right then. So what's the being on this?
Yeah, I think interesting. Okay, so what just came to me is pausing for a second and asking ourselves the question.
Asking it of ourselves?
Well, that was yours. Yeah, I think so. See, it's interesting because
that.
asking the universe and asking yourself in a lot of ways to me is the same.
Yeah, I think there's similarity there. There are nuances. For the purposes of what we're talking about, though, I think it works.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, I've said internal and external.
Yeah, so turn the question around, come at yourself with it.
What do I want? And be really honest about that. What do I want?
Right.
And wait for the answer.
Yeah, so it's an outcome thing, right? What is the outcome I'm looking for?
And I always say, what's the feeling I want?
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Because honestly, let's say I win $1 million, but let's say I'm ill. God, that feels terrible. You know what I mean? Like having $1 million or having a lot of money, if I don't feel good when I get it. So I'm always like, oh, I just want to feel inspired. I want to feel fulfilled. Yeah.
And of course, there's actually a real story that just went on about that. The guy won the $1 million scratch off and found out he was stage 4 3 weeks later.
Wow.
And so he literally, talk about a roller coaster ride of feeling there. So
Right.
yes, that actually can happen.
Wow.
Listeners.
I didn't know that.
It's a real story that just went down in the last couple of weeks, and it's just capturing the hearts of all of us because, it was just one of these things.
Right.
Simple man, won some money, and he was out.
Well, and I think that's a good point because you say it's outcome driven, and I say, well, not necessarily because like I want to really fully experience life and feel amazing doing it. That's typically where I go. So for me, it's not necessarily outcome driven in the way that you are saying,
So then on the doing side of this, I think you got to get in the deep end of the pool. and you have to step up and ask then the outward facing.
Right.
Once you know the inward facing,
Yeah.
there's somebody out there or something, an organization, a person, something that you want. Now go and actually step into the breach and ask it.
Yes, we don't exist in a vacuum.
Right.
Take it outward and let it be in perfect action.
Yes. Yeah, because you know that the answer is either going to be a good one or a bad one. Now that you know that, ask it. Take the mystery out of it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
and
I
then
like it.
from there, you know what to do next. You'll figure the next thing out.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good.
I love it.
All right. Thank you. Hey, Catherine, where do they find us?
We are at what'sherenowkid.com.
what'sherenowkid.com. It gets better every time you say it.
I know, doesn't it? It's just cool.
And I'm Joe Shum. I'm a success coach with Soul Patch Hippo. Be big, be cool, be hippo.
And I'm Catherine Sable. I am a coach as well, and I inspire entrepreneurs to do epic shit.
Yeah.